Oh yeah, about to get my Cinema Stash rehash on.
Let's go!
What?
Oh yeah.
Podcasting from Chico, California, and home of the world's largest functional yo-yo. They are Cinema Stash Rehash. Join them as they talk movies, make fun of them, and discover how they fuel your everyday life paranoia. Let me welcome you to...
All right, and welcome back to Cinema Stash Rehash for episode number 10.
Double digits.
We've reached the number 10.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome. And I'm here with my buddies Wyatt Campbell and Chris Mattson.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And I'm Jason McLennan. And I think tonight we're going to do something called a little bit more sci-fi-ish. We're going to do RoboCop. It's just one of those movies that is just like, I haven't watched it in forever, and I forgot how gritty and just
brutal,
over the top brutal, and
unbelievably graphic.
Yes, and what you said before is here's Rob Otten entering back into the special effects, which makes sense. I mean, you know, he does
Rob Otten people, by the way, did The Thing, which we rehashed a few episodes back. Fantastic practical effects designer.
Designed RoboCop. Amazing. Yeah, he designed the suit and everything, and there was a bit of a fiasco about that. You know, I mean, he developed the suit, and it went through so many changes and so many this, so many that. Nothing was working, and then they ended up right back with his original design again, and came into it. It's like, you know, just don't question the bottom. Don't question the bottom.
They learned.
It's true.
I just don't get it. So anyway, the movie was just so gritty, and I loved it. And you right when you get into the opening scene, it's the newscasters telling how shitty it is in Detroit. And I feel it's really quite hilarious, and it's obviously a product of the time or whatever, but the lead anchor, who was the male, introduced himself and his female counterpart, like didn't even give her a chance. Or I mean, looking at it as 2000 whatever, it's
very
like
Ron Burgundy-ish.
Yeah, it's just like, this is
they
it.
Do that. They do that nowadays. That's like they do that on like SportsCenter and stuff.
Do they still do that?
Well, you introduced me today.
Well, yeah.
you fucking asshole.
This is such a chauvinistic podcast.
I have no idea.
I know. I don't.
I didn't. I'm sorry. Maybe he didn't talk to her before he introduced her, and I didn't talk to you before I introduced you. I apologize.
Apologies are accepted.
I really apologize.
Aside from the perceived chauvinism, the commercials after the commercial break is kind of what I think because the painting the picture of a violent Detroit is like, okay, that's easy to do in a movie. But then the commercials are just like this painting a picture of a desensitized society that has, they have shit that numbs the reality, like the fake hearts and stuff like that.
Yes. I mean, it gives you the opinion that, anything is correctable.
Yes.
If you have a problem, it's like, oh, we'll just put you this fake whatever in there and you'll be just fine.
Totally. And it was like almost funny, That's why I say this movie's a comedy. It's like they had moments where they were sitting and going like, this is funny.
They did it for sure on purpose. Yeah. I'll tell you this about RoboCop. I've seen it a bunch of times, but I've seen it cable RoboCop.
Oh.
So it's on TBS or something, and I'll be like, oh, it's on A&E. I'll pick it up.
Yeah,
and so you watch it, right? It's a great movie, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll go buy it this time, and I'll watch it on Blu-ray. And it's like, okay, let's do it. And you watch it, you're like, holy shit, this movie's nuts.
Oh,
this movie is fucking nuts. I watched it thinking like, even the scene where when he becomes RoboCop, how he becomes RoboCop, where they shotgun off his hand at first, and it's like, whoa, and then 2 seconds later, it's just shotgun shit, and I was like, holy cow, I don't remember it being this crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
And I will say that because it ramps up pretty quickly.
Oh, very quickly.
And it gets gnarly pretty fast. And so I want to say I was excited. I don't remember those parts. I watched it on cable and I kind of perked up a little bit and thought, oh yeah, this got good.
I think Peter Weller was only like Murphy for like 10 minutes.
Really?
I mean,
no, yeah, you're right.
It was like drastically quick.
It was pretty quick.
You go into like, you meet Miguel Ferrera's character.
Yeah.
who I love him as a character actor. Rest in peace.
The shareholders meeting thing,
Yes.
or whatever that was.
Directors meeting.
Yeah, that
executives will say.
That stained my mind as a kid. Like just seeing that guy like get shot up by that huge machine.
Dude, you meet Ed 209. Enforcement Droid 209. Yeah, and it's just like, it's incredible. And what I found so funny about that part is like, as soon as that guy just gets shot to shit, nobody cares. Yeah, it's like, oh, Ted's dead.
Yeah.
But no, they just busy. They're so hell bent on how it's going to fuck them up financially. They don't even care.
They called it an accident. They called it it wasn't a work accident, something other, but it was just some dude just got shot a bunch of times out a window. It was a workplace accident. No big deal. Like, okay, this is gonna get.
Yeah. So what we know at that point is that Detroit, outside these corporate structures, is fucked up, but it's also fucked up inside the corporate structure.
It's just gonna be a messed up place.
It's just a power tier. You know, all you want to do is fuck over the next guy.
I think you know it's gonna be a fucked up Detroit when the cops are driving around in like Ford Tempos. I don't know. The first thing I noticed about that movie was the terrible police cars. Like in the future, they get
everything.
It feels like it's going that way. Like we need more respect for the police. They're gonna get 4 Tempos pretty soon. It looked like.
No, there's a. I mean, not to get too far ahead, but the way the cops protect themselves with body armor is pathetic compared to the standards of crime out in Detroit, the streets of Detroit. But right. Yeah, like because when you get your introduction to the police department with the captain, who is just some comic relief with his just obscenities and like yelling at everything, the
stereotypical
just
80s and early 90s police captain.
Yeah.
He's got to have that terrible, just bring you down,
a little bit overweight,
yell.
Yeah, he just has a little bit of flab on him, and
a mustache.
The mustache, it's kind of maybe Italianish.
Yeah, well, I mean, or a black guy in this case.
Oh, was he?
Oh yeah,
the police captain.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh.
I don't want.
Oh yeah, no, I was. Oh, you're right. No, you're right. You're right.
But anyway, so Murphy gets transferred, and he thinks he's in good hands when he sees Lewis handle that criminal that's a little out of hand, in the lobby.
Oh man, she just gets the shit out of him.
I would argue Lewis fucking sucks as a cop.
She's not a very good cop. She's not a very good partner for sure.
I mean, come on. She chews gum. But B. This is the big B, and it's actually about how she could not keep her eyes off the dick. All that guy had to do was be like, "Can I zip this thing up?" And she's got her gun drawn on him.
She's like, "Oh, dick,"
and she just can't help but look at the dick.
In all fairness,
and she gets punked and thrown off the fucking.
In all fairness,
clearly hasn't happened in a while.
I mean, I'm fairly straight, and I'd probably be like, oh, I gotta look for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Chris, you're 6'4" and you're imposing. So, I mean, if it's like a big dude, like if it's switched the other way around, like Lewis has got you at gunpoint, and you're like, look,
hey,
should I put my dick away? And then she'd be like, well,
she's probably thinking, it's like, is it true?
Yeah, she wanted the stereotypes.
I just
really bigger.
I just couldn't believe that's what led to her like
downfall
demise,
right there.
Was that she had to look at the dick.
Yes.
It was almost, yes. You're right. No, this movie's very, very sexist.
Yeah.
You said it earlier.
But I have to go back to the introduction of Red Forman. Sorry. I will always
said every obscenity except for the one I wanted him to say, which is dumbass.
Yes.
Dumbass.
You dumbass.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. He is literally just a rated R version of Red Forman. He plays the exact same character pretty much, except not a dad. Played by Kurtwood Smith. His name in the movie was Clarence Brodericker.
He was such an ass.
Oh.
He was such an asshole.
But it's nothing like having two last names for your name.
Kurtwood Smith?
Yeah, it just feels like you have a Kurtwood Smith. It just sounds.
Kurtwood's kind of a cool name.
I dig it, and it's weird.
I like Kurtwood.
But I mean, I love the fact
better
that
than
it's
Burtwood or
Kurtwood though. Man,
Kurtwood's tight. It's like,
that's awesome. That's the thing. Is like I just thought it was weird. Like the you're so used to people having two first names as
It's like naming your kid Campbell Brown.
That was quick.
Okay.
Where Brown come from?
Fuck if I know, dude. It's two last names.
What was your last? It's your last name, one, and then
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny. But I mean, the whole introduction to his gang, and they're in that that van or whatever. And
God,
that
his
whole
laugh. I hated his laugh.
Oh, dude. But the whole thing is like I always thought it stuck with me, the whole van scene when it was like Murphy and Lewis are chasing him in the car, and that's like the first introduction to the gang.
Chasing him willy-nilly, by the way. These guys have a bunch of automatic shotguns.
Which they're terrible.
He just
they
puts
went to
his
the
visor down and puts a clip
They went to stormtrooper school
they have
shooting.
stormtroopers.
It's fucking terrible shots.
Totally. until they got Murphy on his knees. Then they hit him with everything.
Yeah.
Up until that
Point
point.
That's all you had, yeah.
They were shooting up this car. They were shooting up this Ford Tempo, driving behind them. and it finally started to hit this window, right? They were popping this window up. And then they're like, yeah, we fucking hit this window. And then look over and this car is driving up. And it's the same Ford Tempo, but the window's back up.
Totally.
And I didn't know if that was like a RoboCop mess up or if they're just like, you're not gonna fucking,
You just never even hit it, yeah.
No, it's like, well, we'll just pull it new window.
Well, then on top of that, it's like they, you got two cops in a van, and then a van with a bunch of shotguns, and they like drive up beside it, and they're just getting peppered with shotgun shots, and nothing's happening. It was one of those things where it's like, okay, so let's just cut to the fucking chase here.
I don't think we need to watch this anymore.
And then inside the van, I guess one of the guys gets clipped, Bobby.
Yeah.
And I think Red just goes, "Can you fly, Bobby?" And then just like chucks him out like no big deal. Just, you're gone.
Can you fly, Bobby?
Can you fly, dumbass?
And then White would have been happy. And then the movie would have been an A.
Did he stick his foot up anybody's ass? I don't think he did that either. His size 13 boot or whatever. Yeah. He was good though. He was pretty mean, He was a good mean character.
Ruthless.
Yeah.
But okay, I have a question for you guys.
The way he looked and talked to women and stuff. He just
Oh yeah. But do you think did the glasses work for you guys? Like the glasses. I mean, did he need the glasses? Do you find that he was more menacing having him or with him? I mean, did that give you like he's smarter?
Does he have them and then not have them in the movie?
No, he always had the glasses until he was like thrown through the windows and stuff like that later, I think.
You know what? I don't think I remember thinking about the glasses.
I don't think he struck me as being smart with or without the glasses. Just like evil.
Right. No, I was just curious because I thought it was funny for him being as menacing as he was, and he had like the Poindexter glasses, and I was just kind of like, did that come across as like, did he need the glasses? Was that like a point of character?
Yeah.
Did he actually physically need them to see? I don't know.
That's a good question.
But I just thought it was kind of funny and thought I'd ask that as a question. But
he did some pretty. I mean, he did throughout the movie. He did some pretty messed up things that, if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't even notice him. And one of the examples is he's talking to he just was dealing with some money, and then he's talking to one of the guys, and he dips his finger in the guy's wine, and the guy picks up the wine and just drinks it anyway.
Yes.
It's like wow, that's so gross to me.
Totally, dude.
But if you're not paying attention, because I've seen the movie a bunch of times, and so you watch movies for different reasons now. And you pick up weird things, and then you go and of course you watch YouTube afterwards, and you can pick up the things that you miss and go back and look at them again, which is fun. But it's kind of what we do now. So thanks for listening.
Exactly.
That whole scene too. Well, I don't want to get too far ahead because that scene is further ahead. I mean, RoboCop.
You just had that's the porno. You've seen that before.
And that's what Murphy saw when she looked at the black guy's wiener.
Yeah, RoboCop.
Turn around, citizen. Bend over. Now, that scene where they're in the drug lab and they're just like got the machine, like the just liberal cocaine dumping all over the fucking place.
Oh man,
missing vials. Like the vials are like just getting. I mean, like I was just like, this is the worst. Rob Bottin obviously was not involved with that cocaine lab because that was just some sloppy fucking shit in terms of the.
But
I loved it though.
I feel like it was supposed to be sloppy.
Well,
it was kind of a sloppy operation.
There's a reason why I think it was a little bit fast paced and it's a little bit sloppy.
Yeah,
is that during the filming of the film, is that the automatic weapons were constantly malfunctioning.
Oh, in that scene in particular?
Yes, and I guess during that scene is like the most you can get was about 3 or 4 seconds worth of film before like there was a malfunction in the. And so it was a very much so a cut and paste scene.
Yeah,
and that's why I kind of perceived to be a little bit very fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean that was actually Peter Weller's favorite scene to do.
Oh really?
Because he like the whole time, and I didn't even think about this. I can't remember what song it was. It was I don't know Peter Gabriel enough.
Oh, I heard this. It was it was
what was something Red Rain.
Red
Rain. Okay, so yeah, he was listening to that, and inside the RoboCop outfit through his Walkman. The whole time he's like just doing do. I mean, like how I mean,
which is funny. Like
he's just like listening to his Walkman as he's doing the scene the whole time. You know, he's just shooting people and he's listening to.
I mean, okay, so most people have seen this movie, and we know that Murphy, aka RoboCop, gets fucked up, shot up by whatever his name is. But
Broderick,
let's
Clarence.
Get it.
We'll call him Clarence.
Clarence.
The entire crew gets him, but yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's like Jon Snow for sure.
He got shot many times with shotguns,
except for the face.
Twice.
They didn't aim at the face, which was nice.
Yeah, that was nice of them because that fit nicely on the RoboCop outfit.
Yeah,
they knew he was destined.
But that RoboCop outfit, that was like that. There was a lot of problems with that, apparently. You know, like most of the scenes where they could get away with it, he would just wear the upper body piece.
Well, it had to be incredibly heavy. I mean,
I don't even know if that was the issue. It was just bulkiness and
immobility.
Right.
Well, he couldn't go fit in cars and stuff.
It was a giant sweatsuit. No, he couldn't. I mean, actually,
he was losing 3 pounds a day.
Yeah, it was actually kind of funny though because the whole time
the RoboCop
on the RoboCop diet.
Yeah.
If you watch
RoboCop,
put a big ass fucking suit on.
That's all you got to do is put a trash bag on. Apparently, you do the same thing.
Are you talking about that one movie?
Well, it's like I guess runners do it or some, or like I don't know, to lose the 3.
Okay, we're not doctors.
Doesn't matter. The whole point is like
don't listen to us about diets.
But
garbage bags. What the fuck?
You could be a garbage pail kid.
Just put it on, anyways.
But no, I mean, there's a reason why there was only most of the times when you saw RoboCop get entering a scene, he was either getting out of the car. He was never filmed. He was filmed one time in the car, but it was he was wearing half suit because it was so big he couldn't do it. Yeah. That's why every time he was in full body wear, it was like him just coming out of the car. Like he never really got in the car,
that's true.
And then he just kind of gets out and starts the scene. You know,
they never address that logic, probably because of budget. But the Ford Tempos. They're not going to fit a RoboCop.
No.
He should have had his own motorcycle or something like that, or like in RoboCop.
you just had trouble with that.
RoboCop. You watch a couple of pornos before you.
We're like 7. We seriously get together and do this podcast and we turn into 12-year-olds.
But the one the one where he has the jetpack, is that 2 or? That's 2. RoboCop.
I
2.
think
that's 2. That's all 2. Those are with the ninjas. That might be 3.
Actually, no. I mean, I do have to do one thing real quick.
3.
I have a giveaway. I have a giveaway for this episode.
Oh, zwing giveaway.
And I forgot to mention that earlier. I was going to do it right at the beginning, but I have just for fun. I have a giveaway of RoboCop 3.
Unsealed.
Unsealed. So
it's sealed or
no,
unsealed?
Okay, hold on. It's unsealed, but it's never been watched.
Okay,
so it's brand new.
So
if you get it, it'll be
No, it's not brand new if it's unsealed.
So its labia has been broken.
Yeah,
it's never been watched. But anyway, all you got to do is comment on this episode and write a little review or something or whatever. Like us on Facebook. I don't give a shit.
Michelle, it's probably yours.
Basically, some sort of shout out that you've done it, and
or one listener
comment underneath the
it's going to be some
RoboCop
competition
episode.
with our whole 2 or 3 listeners.
It might help. I don't know. But anyway,
can I comment?
Yeah, but you won't get the you won't get it.
I really want to see that movie. Okay.
But anyway, if you comment,
doesn't matter anyway, Chris. It's not a V-neck.
Just comment that you listen to the podcast or whatever, and you'll be you might win a free copy of RoboCop 3. So that's all I wanted to say. Anyway, so getting back into this, let's touch on a little bit on we actually haven't got into the death of Murphy.
Not really.
Not at all. I mean, come on. I mean, he finally gets the one guy and his
first day on the force.
Oh, he's probably only Murphy for 3 hours in the film.
Yeah. He got paired up with Lewis. I like to look at Dick.
Lewis.
Murphy was brand new cop.
He
wasn't brand new. He's a transfer.
No, he transferred for the different precinct, which was apparently the Sunnyvale version of what this is. But yeah, so they chase down the gang, in the van scene, and then they track him to this steel mill. I don't know the actual man. I think his name was Johnson. I think he was played by Felton Perry, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, so she catches him first off, and he's pissing, and she can't stop looking at
No, she
The
didn't.
cat.
She didn't do it more than once. She squip, real quick, and that was enough time for him to
She
overtake her.
snuck in a look in between chewing her bubble gum and pointing a gun at a guy, and he knocked
Yeah.
her out. And you know what?
Okay, he did, but there was two. There was, in her defense, there was 2 of them, and probably like 9 of the other. They were in trouble from the get go.
I wouldn't say she
No
was.
backup was like 2 hours away.
Backup. It wasn't gonna happen.
I wouldn't
They're
say
in
she
4
was
tempos.
responsible for the Murphy.
The demise, yeah.
She's not responsible.
But she wasn't. She's not a good cop.
Well,
He's not a good cop.
yeah.
But he's not a good cop.
He got into his
Hey,
own
he could
predicament
spin his
himself.
gun like a motherfucker.
He could get
Yeah.
when he's a RoboCop.
Oh yeah,
but when he wasn't. So
Yeah.
my point is, they take a terrible cop and turn him into a RoboCop.
They do.
And
Yeah.
I didn't really, that.
it's nothing like being a hothead terrible cop.
Yeah, well, like, what does he say when he gets that one guy? Like, he says, like, you're coming with me.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Yeah. Which,
And yeah, and then that's when everything goes terrible. And they shoot him like 35 times. But then when Red comes in and says he goes first,
yeah,
he's like, yeah, Red comes in and just,
Jamie Lannister
He's like-
him and just shoots his hand off.
yeah, he totally fucking shoots his hand off.
I hated that scene as a kid. Just and then
Oh my god, I can't believe
Boom.
they showed it too, because that was
Oh.
like I said that was
Yeah.
Rob Botton's geniusness.
Totally. He's like, nah, it's just some firecrackers and pig's meat.
Yeah,
But whatever.
probably exactly
Yeah.
was that. But it was so graphic. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was so believable. I was like,
Again, another scene
goddamn.
that stained my mind as a kid when I had happened to see this when I was like maybe 12 or
Yeah.
10 or...
But then he gets up on his knees and takes
Yeah.
like 30 shotgun
And just
shots
like-
to his chest.
Yeah, and just Rambo's his way out like, ah!
Yeah,
which isn't very realistic to me. It
No.
feels like he would just be chopping him up.
Oh God, yeah.
You know,
not only that, but you would probably stop yelling after the third shotgun
yeah.
blast.
I mean, that
to,
could
like,
probably even with
That
the
could just be
Kevlar.
like could just be like
I mean,
nerves
Kevlar.
happening.
They're like pathetic Kevlar. that
Oh,
just,
oh yeah, not state of the art for sure. But I mean, you'd think that would just tear through that and
Yeah.
just, I don't know. But I mean, that was it. I mean, he took like 30 shots, and then Red comes back in with this delivering blow right to the skull,
right.
Yeah.
and he goes down. And
Oh
then
yeah,
he
he
wakes.
did that one time. Shoot him in the head.
Then he wakes, and he's already like kind of RoboCop, and like they go through those flash forward scenes of him becoming RoboCop.
I know,
like,
and
he
the
goes
worst,
dim,
The
he
people
comes
having
up.
like the New Year's party.
Yeah, the
like,
party and everything.
the
and
worst
it's-
scene in that, because it shows how bad these people were, and it's like we were able to save his arm.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, we don't want any part of him, so cut his arm off. Like,
And go back to
wow,
Bob
that
Morton.
sucks.
Bob Morton.
Fuck, that sucks.
Bob Morton says, "Fuck that."
Cut his arm off.
We said everything.
It does. It is interesting to know that RoboCop's vision's only as good as current technology would be,
yeah.
and so it's
Yeah.
funny that his vision was like
VHS
like
vision.
Macintosh, or like an
MS-DOS.
A nice version of Apple computer. I thought that was kind of funny.
No,
I agree.
but I mean that whole scene.
Scanning,
It was
scanning.
crazy to actually like get a kind of concept of time a little bit, because I mean they've been working on him for fucking ever.
Yeah.
And every now and then they would fire him up, and it was like a series of 6 months. It probably was 9 to 10 months of them working on him. I don't know.
It
But-
wasn't very clear on the timeline, but it
No.
definitely showed you time passed.
But I think the New Year's party was to kind of give you a perception.
Yeah,
of like time.
it made you feel like time had
definitely
passed, for sure.
Yeah.
It became a really like kind of sci-fi-ish movie. I feel like when RoboCop started kind of having this regaining consciousness kind of epiphany, and there's like the scene where he and Lewis are, and she's like, I got some baby food if you want it, and he's like, I'm not hungry. And it was just like,
so that baby food was interesting because they showed stuff that looked like baby food that they feed him,
yeah.
but like actual baby food was enough to keep the RoboCop going. I didn't understand the feed
like,
part.
yeah.
You just needed
Why
some
are they
sort of
feeding
nutrients.
RoboCop baby food?
because that one guy said it tasted like it. That's it. Because that one guy was like, tastes like baby food. And then
Why
so
is
she gets
RoboCop
baby
eating food? He doesn't have a digestive system. He's a RoboCop.
he's
He has
got
a face.
He's got an asshole that he shits out.
Why is he even eating? He only has a
baby
he has
food goes somewhere.
He literally has like Buffalo Bill skin face. That's it. It's stretched out. Which Which is amazing makeup, by the way. RoboCop's makeup is fantastic.
Oh, no, apparently
his stretched face back.
Yeah, the scene where he is a full, stretch face, you can see everything behind him was a scene that Rob Bottin, the master, was not for. Like, he was against that shit because he was worried about the lighting. Mm-hmm. But they pulled it off, and to his delight.
Both of them. I mean, the director and him like just argued like tooth and nails about it.
Totally.
And then they just like came together, and it was like at the when they finally watched it and saw after everything that happened, they were so pleased about it that they forgave each other like immediately.
Yeah.
And then right after that, they at the time they said they'll never work together again because they were arguing so much about it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just like the lighting by the lighter did perfectly exactly what Verhoeven would said they would have done. And then suddenly they saw that, and it was like they just shook hands, and they ended up working like the next.
Well, they did Total Recall,
exactly,
which
Total
we
Recall.
Will definitely do.
Oh,
somebody better fucking pick
have to do. I don't care. I'll pick it. I don't give a shit.
That movie's great. Yeah, I mean, and getting back to that point in the movie, like that's a little bit further ahead when we were talking about, because that's after Lewis had already taken him. After he gets, praised, and then ultimately turned on, and to the point where he's just getting, ganged up on by the police force.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that one guy controlled all of it, and he was giving the orders.
Dick Jones, is that who it is? Dick Jones.
Dick Jones.
The villain.
Yes. Yes, played by Ronnie Cox.
Which is funny because it's like we haven't even talked about him.
His name was Ronnie Cox, and his character's name was Dick Jones.
Yes, it was very, very.
Come on.
Yeah. But I have to bring. I mean, now that we're back onto Dick Jones for a second, I have to bring up the scene with Miguel Ferrera's character, Bob Norton.
Yeah, which scene?
They're in the bathroom scene.
Oh.
Like right after the successful run of RoboCop and the demise of Ed 209, basically with the head guy there totally reminds me of the lieutenant in Police Academy. I don't know why, just a quick little blip. But the whole bathroom scene when Bob Norton's character and Dick Jones are, and like he's talking to another guy saying how, and they're all pissing, and Dick Jones is in the shitter at the time.
Yeah.
And like they're just talking all bad about him, and then all of a sudden the toilet flushes, and the one guy just is like, oh shit, and he like just totally pisses himself just to get the fuck out. He didn't even care. And then when he comes out though, they have that exchange, like that ridiculous like, you fucked me, I'm gonna fuck you kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the one scene that really struck me weird was the whole like grabbing of the hair and wrenching it, like as an intimidation plot. I mean, I've never ever seen that in any other film.
Who grabbed
Dick Jones grabs Miguel Ferrera's in the head and just like twists his head.
Really?
And like he's just twisting it, and it's all like totally it just was like totally threw me. Like I've never seen that aspect of like an intimidation scene when you're like talking down.
I don't remember that part.
He's like, and you just kind of like, I don't remember the line, but he goes, and you just kind of like fucked me, and like just like took his head and just like wrenched it in his hair, and I was like, wow, that is like a complete scene that as an intimidation factor, like when you're talking somebody down.
Yeah.
It totally threw me, and it was like, I've never seen that before. It was just a very odd. It was cool, but it was just different.
Totally.
But yeah,
I don't remember that.
But let's talk about Ed 209 for a second.
You mean
the enforcement droid, the big giant fucking thing.
The blatant inspiration from Robotech.
Yes.
That thing was so Robotech.
Oh, but I just thought it was weird, like the whole, when RoboCop finally faces him.
Yeah.
The stop motion part is what I'm really talking about. Is like it was good stop motion animation.
It was.
To bring it on.
And it was hilarious, equally hilarious that like it squealed when it was helpless.
Yeah, did they mean for that? I mean,
it did sound like a velociraptor. Yeah,
it did. It was
I looked into it, and apparently it's the squeal sounds came from a pig, and the roars came from a jaguar. So Ed 209, because I mean it's a robot, whatever, you could say it's programmed to have those noises. It's just weird that like whoever programmed it for when it was on its back like a turtle, like that it would squeal. Like a pig.
I feel like you'd rather have it be like, I'm on my back, I'm on my back,
help me.
Not a fucking squealing pig.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
That's one of the worst noises ever. That's a shrieking
How does it
terrible
become
noise.
animalistic?
I don't know.
It's like, it just doesn't make sense. But
RoboCop. That's what they do. I never, so it's I never really got. I don't know. They go into some weird things when it comes to Ed 209 because
I really enjoyed Ed 209. I mean, as far as just like seeing this big fucking 2-gun cannon robot.
Yeah, but it seemed like it had flaws, and like they just kept on putting it out there. Like then we don't care about the flaws.
As an enforcement droid, I can see it. You know, I mean, it's menacing.
It's menacing, but it shoots everybody. It can shoot any. It's like first of all, not to go backwards, but the dude is shot in the beginning. He put his gun down. Like he listened to you.
Yeah.
And Ed 209 still shot him out the window.
Well, and not only that, but it's like he was given what 40 seconds or whatever, 20 seconds.
It was 20 seconds, yeah.
20 seconds, and it was like, you know, that's the consequence. It's not going to be like you are arrested. It's like you're dead.
Yeah, no, but it was like I'll give you 20 seconds to drop your weapon. It's like okay, man, I dropped my weapon. Okay, well, now it's like I don't. Okay.
So how would they? You know, I mean, now that we know that the ending of the film is like, you know, why did Ed 209 continue when they arrested? I mean, how would they repurpose that droid? You know, I mean, would it be like I don't know, like a bouncer or some shit like that? I mean, what would you do? Private security? It's just like
you can put like a baby in it and be like a cool Halloween costume.
I would love to hear something about a different take on.
I know you want to.
Seriously?
I'm sorry, okay? I must have too much at the bar. This is the way it goes.
Uh-huh.
Well, wait, what are you doing?
Ed 209 activated.
Holy shit! Oh, what the hell? What the fuck?
Gentlemen, sooner. An erection is required. You have 10 seconds to comply.
What? No. What?
An erection is required. You have 5 seconds to comply.
What the fuck are you talking about? I can't perform under this kind of shit. What? No.
Drastic measure required.
Oh, shit. It's working. Thanks, ED-209.
Where they were
like mech battles. Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
I think they fought him in Terminator.
You like that droid. It's obvious.
No, it was super cool, and I think really what sold me was the stop animation.
Yeah.
I mean,
totally.
It was killer. I mean, like right up to the end, you know, when like, you know, after he like gets his targeting back, you know, after that totally reminds me of that whole fucking scene right after he encounters Ed 209 at the time. He escapes the fucking droid, goes downstairs into the parking garage, and then just gets bombarded by his own guys.
Yeah.
Right, and then
he just gets destroyed,
which is terrible. But then he rolls through the parking garage, and then all of a sudden Lewis is there. It's like, what? Where have you been? Right,
yeah.
You are the worst cop ever.
She's just sitting there chewing her fucking gum.
It's like, hey, there you are, Murphy. Get in the car. It's like I just got murdered again.
Yeah,
where are you?
He has some sort of issue of just getting massively shot.
Yeah.
I mean, Murphy is...
And she has an issue.
She's got very few allies in the Force, you can tell, because it's like the minute they see her with him, they're just shooting at her. So she's an outlier, chewing her gum, looking at the
You really don't like people chewing gum.
You know what? If a cop came up to me and was like, let me see your license and registration.
I guess that's true with that face too. Just like condescending fucking white face. I'd be pissed off too.
I suppose that's true. Yeah, I'd be like, "Fuck you, officer."
But I think it's funny though, like considering that scene with the Ed 209, how they, you know, I mean, RoboCop is not limber, you know, and like he can't do much. He's just imposing. So it's like when he's running down the stairs, and it just kind of looks like he's like kind of like limping away, going
he's
like
working at it.
You can't see me, don't see me, but come down the stairs. You know, like it was just kind of funny because it was well played. You know, like they handled that well from the
Well, this is something else that I wanted to say. Is like the reason why I love the stop motion in this movie so much is because they pay attention to the like really random parts. Like when that Ed 209 droid like ducks down into the eave and comes into the stairwell, and he's like stopping and realizing that it's stairs, and he goes and tries to figure out how to go down. It's like, did you? I mean, you didn't even need to do that scene.
No,
he could just like tumble down, but the fact that they took the time to like do that as a comedic level was kind of like.
Oh yeah,
kind of cool.
Yeah, it was weird because Murphy was like just staring at him the whole time.
Well, yeah,
just like watching his foot, like first range from it was like,
you could have like killed him by now.
Yeah, or maybe got up and moved faster. I don't know.
He could have been downstairs.
He was a little handicapped. All he could see through was the crack on his helmet.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
he was
true.
just like limping around, like looking through the crack of his helmet.
Yeah,
he got robo mopped. If you know what I'm saying. Shout out.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, no, because that leads right into where we were talking about the scene, the famous scene with the head exposed.
Yeah,
and like I was saying earlier, though, it's just funny when RoboCop is like becoming a little bit more human, because before that we didn't talk about how he goes back home and starts remembering his family and goes
to that house,
memories.
Yeah.
But when he starts like having a personality, it's just funny because it's like he looks ridiculous. Yeah. Like the makeup is so good. It's just like you see his face stretched onto this robot, and it's just like
what?
Yeah, he's just like, my targeting system's off. Help me.
But he actually has like emotion behind him.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely more. I was like, when she talks about bringing his gun and like food in case you're hungry.
You know what I'd say? He has like robotic emotions. He has like the emotion of like a robot. Like an artificial intelligence robot right now.
He did finally start to convey it a little bit more human. Like after he took his mask off, or like at that scene, even like when he said like, did you bring the gun? It was actually like said with inflection. Instead of like just being this like robot drone
That's
voice.
True. It wasn't just like a monotone.
Yeah. I mean, I just kind of noticed at that point, everywhere before that was totally like monotone style. But then all of a sudden, he became
That's true. They were showing a little growth for sure.
Yeah, more Murphy. And then all of a sudden, he even said that he remembers. I don't remember them, but I feel them. Talking about his family.
Why did they always show him flying away from him, driving away from him? I never understood that. Like out the window, he was always going away from his family out the window. They were standing on the curb
because he was being transferred. That was him,
and so they got a divorce and left.
Like his wife and his son didn't want to get uprooted, or I think that was the case. It was like,
are you writing backstory right now?
I am reciting
we'll say interpreting.
Yeah, I'm reciting non-canon right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was him leaving his family to go to the new force because he was such a dedicated cop, and Detroit was so fucked up that whether or not his family was going to come with him or not, he was still going to go.
Okay, so see, I took that way deeper because I thought that he was. I thought he was. That was him turning into like he was leaving his family, turning into RoboCop, and that he wasn't coming back after. That's what That's because I didn't.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see it as deep as that.
I just think that like that was his last memory of his family. It was like when he was leaving to go to the force.
I feel like that's like what he remembers daily.
True.
Like, maybe
I just don't understand why his family didn't come, and they didn't.
That's like his memory.
Maybe
he wasn't a bad guy.
Maybe he was just driving from like a nice suburb of Detroit to the inner city, like so that he didn't have to move. It was like,
maybe that was him leaving for work that day or something.
Right. That's what happens every day he leaves. They see him off. He drives away, and they're waving at him.
Totally.
That's how I perceived it. Was like that's his memory of like an everyday occurrence. That's why it's so deep.
Yeah,
because he sees that every day. Maybe I
guess I can see that.
Yeah,
if you're looking through it like that, that's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, that's when you kind of like when he remembers that, and you see him in that garage. I mean, it feels like at that point he kind of takes like another level. Like he's just a little bit more human style. He says how he remembers them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then everything is fucking real at that point. His targeting system's off, and then like it's like seconds after that, it's like fuck, they're there. All of a sudden, Clarence Brodericker shows up with his goons and shit with those, by the way,
the 6000 SUX.
Fuck. Oh, yes, that, and those menacing ass giant cannons that guns. They were showing, which was a great introduction scene earlier in the movie that we missed. And
for a second, I was watching that commercial for a second thinking, I don't remember those cars ever coming out. And then I was like, wait a second, this is the future. And what am I was like trying to. I literally thought I saw it as a commercial.
You're like, I see the four tempos. I don't know what this.
I was like, I've never seen a commercial in a movie before, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Because then you see the car, and later someone's driving it later in the movie. Like
it just looks like a fucking prop. It's just got the awful paint job.
But seriously, those guns, man. I mean,
they're well, and then like how Detroit's like off its rails, and like they're just shooting cars in the street.
It doesn't fucking matter.
It's like Grand Theft Auto out there.
Totally,
just blowing shit up left and right.
Yeah.
What's stupid is RoboCop comes out and he says something, and so it gives away his position. And they all
are you looking for me, citizen?
Yeah,
looking for me.
Are you looking for me? And then it's like, and then everyone starts shooting at him, and he takes his gun out and he shoots the black dude like 7 times. It's like, brrr, 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 brrr. It's like he didn't shoot anybody else. He didn't target anybody else.
No,
that didn't make any sense to me. You're RoboCop
because
you come out and you shoot one guy. He shot the same guy. He was like in the arms of another guy, and he's still shooting him.
Yeah,
it's like your RoboCop is
with his automatic pistol,
dude. Well, actually, I have to say one thing about that. That
was
fucking,
a cool pistol. Though.
No, the gun. That was a Beretta. I don't remember the exact model, but I did write it down. I can't find it. But anyway, it was a Beretta, and it was remodified, and it actually had an extended barrel to resemble a casket.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I did have like that. It had a semi-automatic, and then it had a 3-shot burst, which was such a fucking sick sound. And I've never heard that sound ever before. Especially when the shooting range, and he's like,
yeah.
I mean, like,
supposedly.
fuck, can you imagine 3 shots at one time in your chest? I mean.
Yeah,
Christ.
That dude got it. Like 10.
Yeah, dude. I mean that.
Same guy.
Johnson, I guess is his name. I don't know, but yeah.
Supposedly, at the beginning of the movie, when the Ed 209 shoots that guy, the gun that he was given to threaten it, that silver Desert Eagle, was originally supposed to be RoboCop's gun, but it just the Desert Eagle still looks puny in RoboCop's hand, so they had to like make a prop gun.
Yeah, and his leg opens up, and it's just like a huge holster in his leg.
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty big when he spins it around and stuff.
That fucking gun, man. I mean, that's like such an iconic gun. I mean, it's like you.
That's one thing I thought they did really well in the new one, in the remake they brought out. Is that gun was pretty sweet.
Right. Yeah.
If we're talking remakes,
I haven't seen the remake, but I've heard it's good from everybody who's seen it.
It's not
hate
bad.
It was entertaining.
Yeah,
it was a movie.
Yeah.
It was a entertaining movie.
You said before, you can turn it on and kind of like just let it go, and it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've never really talked to anybody that's listening to us about our preferences of movie.
Yeah,
but I will say this right now. I go see movies to be entertained.
Right.
If I can justify paying money to go see it by my entertainment, then that's fine. I don't care if the storyline's stupid. I don't care if the acting's bad. If I'm entertained by the movie, it's worth it to me. Yeah. And that's why going back and rehashing these 80s and 90s movies is such a pleasure for me, because these are all the movies that I love. We grew up with these.
I feel that these movies pretty much mold and shape what you view as movies in your later years. I mean, you take what you see when you've grown up, and you take that and
they're all entertaining, and they're worth the money to see them. So
let's be honest, we just got lucky. The 80s and 90s produced some of the best shit out there.
They did. I mean, there's some pretty crap stuff out there as well. I mean,
every decade has their moments.
I feel like right now it's like the balance between TV and movies. Like there's just as good as stuff on TV these days. That movies are like not what they used to be, where it was like, you go there to see something you'd never see on TV. Now it's like you can, at the comfort of your home, you can watch stuff that's just as interesting or crazy.
The special effects finally kind of caught up with television as well. So,
but then again, like with this movie and the last movie we just talked about, Ninja Turtles, it's like the practical effects. It's like, dude, you can't replicate that stuff. Like that scene, before even reading about the Botten and Van Houten feud over the full head scene, like watching that scene, I was like, that is gnarly. Like seeing the skin like pinned to the back of that head.
Totally.
That was awesome. And then I read about that, and I'm like, man, I can't believe. Like if that was filmed in the dark and you couldn't see all that, like the awesome paint job on all the metallic aspects of that costume.
Just seeing how the makeup just blends.
Yeah, but we can't get too much further into this without going along with the storyline where they like end up, RoboCop's kind of, fighting back against these thugs with their big guns.
Yeah.
And he dupes that guy into driving in straight into a toxic waste bath.
Oh my god. I think that's probably by far the most comedic scene in the entire movie. It was totally not meant to be, I don't think, obviously, but I mean, let's be honest, man. That guy comes out and he's immediately fucked up and just melted and shitty, and like he totally becomes the like everywhere, like constantly, like I think they threw that in as for comedic element.
Oh,
you know?
I mean, he's so believably melting that when he gets blown up by a car that hits him, you believe it. You're
just,
like,
Yeah, he literally just goos on the window.
It's like a tomato. I mean, it was nothing. And I love it. I mean, you really didn't have to like bring him on in any other aspect. But when he like runs in, oh, by the way, Leon's character is Robert Scherbatsky's dad from,
wait,
How I Met Your Mother.
Really? Wait, so Leon.
Oh, yeah.
He's the other guy that actually, Acid Man kind of goes, he's like, get the fuck away from him. That's
the other guy.
Leon. But he had another great scene earlier, which I'll bring up.
He's in the club, and somehow RoboCop can just track him alone. And
and then he just
tracking
smacks
Leon,
the gun out of his hand. This random dude just in the club just grabs it and starts dancing like no big deal.
Yeah, like that club. They were like,
and then I didn't. Some of the scenes never made sense to me.
No, and they're not. They're there for just
full
like
comedy.
What the fuck?
This is comedy relief.
But it's funny. But with the acid guy, I mean, he was just there and there. I swear, I was like, suddenly some guy just like, we needed a comedic element. Let's just throw this dude in acid and let's just like make something.
Or it was like he was like, "Hey, Rob,
yeah,
what's like the funniest, most disgusting thing you could probably add to this movie?" It's like, "Oh, I got some dry ice, and like I can make this guy look like he's melting."
Yeah, it's like what have you never done? No, I've never done this. Let's see how gnarly I can do it.
Yeah.
Oh, he just hobgoblins like through the rest of the movie going.
Well, it's crazy because it's a great scene because that van drives straight into that vat, and then like it's not like he gets out of the seat or he gets spilled out. And it's just like you're just I was like, oh my god, I remember everything about this, and it's so fucked up.
Oh my god, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that scene was definitely by far a cake stealer for me in the entire movie. I mean, that was a look forward to scene.
It stole your cake.
Yeah, it stole my cake.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I don't really know what that term meant.
I didn't know there were cake burglars.
Yeah, well, that was a good
Son
scene.
of a bitch stole my cake. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well,
because you kind of said it's a good thing, and it pissed me off. He stole my cake.
It kind of made it sound like he was like he had stole your heart.
Kinda.
He stole your cake.
Well, the scene did.
That bastard.
I don't know. It was a good damn fucking scene. That's all I'll say about that.
It was a good scene.
Indeed.
I agree.
Yeah, indeed.
But then after the whole majigger goes down on that, and everybody
that was a majigger.
So
we'll say quite a majigger.
Let me ask you guys this. Where did the R2-D2 holes come in where RoboCop stuck that metal thing into?
You mean his dick?
No.
Came out of his fist.
His hand dick?
His hand dick.
Okay, his hand thruster thing. Because why? So RoboCop can just get into anything he wants with this middle finger.
Yes.
Or is that something that all cops had? They didn't explain that.
No. That was just a RoboCop thing.
He can just R2-D2 anything he wants.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think there are definitely male and female computers, and I think you just got to find a hole. And
something will work.
Yeah.
You'll make it happen.
That's usually how I try. So
make it happen.
That's how I do it.
I mean, he kind of goes in there and he's just like, hello, and then
he's like, I cannot harm employees. and then he jams this thing in this computer, and then like you said in the previous podcast, then like 17 TVs light up.
Yeah.
And there's like another movie.
There's at least a few. Yeah. There was like
this is another movie with multiple TVs.
Yeah.
But that's the thing in the 80s. There's
probably 12, 27-inch TVs on the
They
wall.
didn't have big screen TVs, so they're like, we got to have a bunch of little TVs.
Yeah, exactly.
We have 20-inch screens as the biggest we can do, so let's have 13 of them.
You know what? Let's
put them all together.
Let's keep this in mind. And in our next movie, Raising Arizona, by the way, a funny Coen Brothers movie.
Perfect.
We should see if there's multiple TV scenes,
I think
stacked TVs.
I really think it's a villain kind of thing.
Well, we'll see.
Well, obviously, we've pretty much wound down from the movie, so we can just bullshit for a second. Let's just say, is there anything else we want to say? I mean, obviously, the moment in time when, Dick Jones gets his by, the spiking of the television and tells him that he had to kill Bob Morton because he was getting in his way, blah, blah, blah.
I heard there was an alternate ending to that, but I searched and I couldn't find it. And that's not a joke. I really thought there was. I mean, there was like a YouTube video of someone made a funny one that was actually pretty funny. Maybe we'll put up on the website so people can see it.
A couple of IMDb based trivia shit. There was a Kickstarter to build a statue.
Oh, I read that
in Detroit, and it's actually met its funding and it's being built. So there's going to be a 12-foot statue of RoboCop in Detroit,
and as there should be. As there should be.
And then
Detroit proud.
Aside from that, there's a funny story that came out of Sacramento. Back in '87 or whenever this movie came out, that a robbery suspect fled into a theater and went into this movie. And he was so captivated with the movie that the police evacuated everybody else, and he didn't realize that.
I mean, it happened to me too, probably.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, he just got he was shocked and he got arrested. He was like, "Oh fuck, this movie is badass," and I just got arrested for that.
Other than that, but the I'd buy $1 guy, that thing, which I thought was some weird comic relief in a weird way. Every time somebody was looking at a TV, it was like this game show or the show or whatever with that guy that's like, I'd buy that for $1.
And it was called That's Not My Problem.
The only thing I remember watching through the movie and then checking it out later is there's a scene where he I forget who walks through. Someone walks through the comic book store and he picks up 2 comics, and the comics he picked up are Iron Man and then another one that I wasn't familiar with, but they were both they both had to do with regular citizens having some kind of mechanical suit helping them fight crime.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny.
Huh.
They brought that, they brought kind of the...
Like I said, one little tidbit that I kind of noticed that was really hilarious in this movie, actually, is that why is that every single villain, potentially that wasn't actually from the main cast, like the robber from the store, and then the guy who took the mayor of the town hostage.
Yeah.
Where do these people keep getting their automatic weapons from? They're the weapons that have choice were beyond
That's what was funny was when
they all
Lewis
have automatic weapons.
When Lewis and Murphy are chasing Clarence and his band of psychos, they have pistols versus shotguns.
Yeah.
A lot of shotguns, and it's not just hunting shotguns. They're 12 gauge buckshot fucking
just
nasty
menacing
shotguns.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid because it's like you're saying, even citizens have automatic weapons.
Yes.
But all the cops are maybe that's part of the story is that law enforcement has been stripped down to the very basics because
that might be why they're striking. Right. That might be the whole point of the cops striking.
Exactly. I mean, I think that is it because the corporations are trying to take over law enforcement. So maybe that's the point. All you get is a pistol and a cheap
a
Kevlar
terrible
vest.
car.
I just thought it was funny.
And a 200,000 mile Ford Tempo.
I like how in this future car they don't go anywhere. It's just the 6,000 sucks, and that's about the most futuristic thing you're gonna find.
Did you guys notice that every time someone got into a police car with someone else, they were taken off before the passenger got in? Did you ever see that? Next time you watch RoboCop, look at it. Every time they get into a cop car, the driver takes off before the guy gets in all the way. It's why are they they're such in a hurry in that Ford Tempo?
They're very impatient.
Top speed's 88.
There's only so many officers. They got to get there as fast as they can.
Watch it again. It kind of cracks me up after I saw it.
Dude, that is hilarious. I never would have caught that.
Every time. It's they almost kill the passenger every time. So, we'll take off. It's let them get in the car first. You're such a hurry in that Ford Tempo. Those are my only 2 I saw. Except for there's a couple mistakes that were kind of funny, but him walking around in his underwear I thought that was kind of a funny tidbit. He has the top of RoboCop on. That would be me at home if I was RoboCop. If I was Weller, totally 15 years later, I'd be sitting with the top of RoboCop on in my underwear, just watching.
No, totally. RoboCop when he's off duty, he's definitely he's got the lower half off.
He can't take the top off because that's what
he's got the helmet off. He's just sitting stretch skin and chest piece,
stretched skin.
and just sitting there eating his baby food and emptying his colostomy bag or whatever.
No, he doesn't have a digestive system. We talked about this.
So where does the baby food go?
I don't think he swallows it. I think that's
what does he do? Absorb it on his skin? Is it topical?
Have you ever had baby food?
Is it a topical torpedo like that?
You don't eat baby food. You put it in your mouth and you slop it around a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying it's like I don't understand why you got to feed RoboCop.
I don't either.
Like,
that was never explained.
If you feed him, he has poop. That's just the way it goes.
I know, but he doesn't have it makes no sense.
I know he doesn't have a robo asshole or whatever.
He might, but I don't think he digests food. I think it would just go down a tube and then come out.
So it's just like to like satisfy his.
I don't understand. The baby food makes no sense.
I know he shouldn't need energy.
No, well, but they can plug him in or something. Well, in the remake, they actually he actually go back and get plugged in.
You fucker. Oh, this is amazing.
I can't even.
People, does RoboCop poop or not?
Yeah. I don't. You know what's interesting is I think I've talked to someone about this. It's like when they remade Fantastic Four and they gave the thing no pants, but they didn't give him a penis. And it's like the same thing, you know. It's kind of the same thing. Everyone thinks about it.
How is that the same thing? Does the thing? No, I don't want to get too into that.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, at least we know RoboCop didn't have an appetite after killing everybody.
No.
I'm not hungry.
You can run a big ass robot on baby food. They're doing anyways.
Okay, yeah. I'm back. I'm done, and we're gonna close out this episode of Cinema Stash Rehash.
I think we rehashed the shit out of that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no pun intended.
If you haven't seen it, go watch RoboMop.
Yeah, RoboMop does RoboCop poo and all that stuff. Thanks for listening to Cinema Stash Rehash. Cinema Stash Rehash. We'll see you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Cinema Stash Rehash. Be sure to give us some awesome iTunes reviews, like us on Facebook, don't forget to check out past episodes, and join us next time on Cinema Stash Rehash.